This is a hearing for purposes of the defendant entering an agreed plea. The state of Texas is present, represented by Assistant District Attorney Ms. Sasha Stribling. The defendant, Mr. Randall Cochran, is present, along with his attorneys of record, Mr. Rainey Tinajero and Ms. Heather Barbieri. The court's court reporter is here, taking a record of this proceeding, as is the court's probation officer. We are appearing over Zoom video conference, and in compliance with the public courts laws, we are also live streaming on YouTube at this time. Mr. Cochran, will you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Are you Randall Cochran?
I am.
And what is your date of birth?
September 13th, 1957.
Did you agree that we conduct your plea over video conference?
I did.
And do you understand what you're charged with?
I do.
Do you understand the range of punishment?
I do.
Have you discussed your rights with your lawyer?
I have.
Do you want to have a trial?
No.
Are you a United States citizen?
I am.
Counsel, do you believe your client is mentally competent?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Cochran, what is your plea?
No contest.
I accept your plea of no contest. While the evidence is sufficient to find you guilty, instead of doing that, I'm going to place you on deferred adjudication probation for 24 months, also assessing a $500 fine plus court costs. As long as you meet your probation conditions, after the 24 months, this case will be dismissed. Do you understand, however, this case will still appear on your criminal record unless you take steps to conceal it?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand one of the steps you can take is file a petition for non-disclosure?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that a non-disclosure is a court order to the Texas Department of Public Safety to not disclose your criminal record to the general public?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you understand that even if that petition is granted, there's certain agencies that will still have access to this record?
I understand that. Yes, thank you.
And you're welcome. Do you understand that those agencies include law enforcement, schools, hospitals, federal securities agencies, and many more?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so do you understand ultimately this case will never be completely removed from your criminal record unless you receive a pardon from the governor of Texas?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any questions?
I do not.
Does the state have anything it wants to add at this time?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Does the defense have anything it wants to add at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I would request from the court if we could have the fine probated, Your Honor.
Okay, do you want to put on some evidence as to why the court should do that?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I do. May I go ahead and briefly call my client on that issue?
Yep, he's already been called and sworn, so go ahead.
Mr. Cochran, can you just go ahead and state your full name for the record, please?
Randall Carroll Cochran.
Okay. And we had discussed the possibility of asking the court whether we could have the fine probated. Is that right?
That's correct.
And under the circumstances with COVID and how did I lose everybody? Is everybody still there?
You're
okay.
back.
You're back.
Okay.
You're back.
Okay. Apparently when somebody calls, it clears up. With all the circumstances we've had, have you also been hard hit by the circumstances of this pandemic?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. And are you financially in a situation where we are asking the court to probate this fine?
I'm not
did I
sure I
lose you? You
understand
froze.
your question.
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Okay.
Would it be
You
helpful
are-
for me to probate the fine? Yes, it would be financially helpful to me.
Okay. And why?
And why is that? I've had a rather large amount of expenses related to this case. And I'm a little cash short.
All right.
to
I'll
be
pass.
quite frank.
Anything from the state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
So my question is, I was noticing the offense date. This is 5 years ago. Why is it that it took 5 years to move this case, counsel?
Your Honor, this case was originally an indecency with a child by contact,
Mhm.
and it was a direct file that was just directly filed
Just directly filed, what, recently?
as
What
a
do you mean?
misdemeanor. Yes. So I think
Okay.
about a month ago, it was refiled as a misdemeanor.
So it pended as a felony for four plus years,
I
or
don't know
not?
the exact indictment date, but yes, it has gone on for a while. That's correct.
The felony, Your Honor, was a 2019. There's a whole lot of issues as to why it took a long time, Your Honor.
I mean, the reason why I ask is because obviously there's a lot of time that went on before COVID started with regard to this case and its pendency. And so, you know, while we have people being arrested and dealing with cases within the COVID pandemic or not long before, you've got something going on 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago that could have been moved a long time ago. I'm just confused, you know, but you've explained it.
It looks like, Judge, I did just look it up. It looks like it was indicted May of 2019. So the offense date is earlier, but it was received and indicted about a year and a half ago.
And so that makes me want to know, was it like a late outcry or does that make
Yes,
sense?
Judge.
Did the victim outcry later on as opposed
Yes,
to when it allegedly happened?
Yes,
I
Judge.
did, Your Honor.
Okay, so in this hearing, when we're on the record, so unless you're on the stand and you're sworn in or I ask you a direct question, Haley, just try to refrain, okay?
Okay.
But if you want to say something, you will have an opportunity to do that. Just let me know,
Okay.
okay? Okay, so I was just trying to get to the bottom of that. I see that your client does have 1 day back time credit in jail. So I can apply that to the court costs and fines, and we can probate the remainder. What that means, Mr. Cochran, is that as long as you meet your probation conditions, you won't have to pay the remaining balance of that fine and court costs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But if you don't follow your probation conditions, and it can be something as easy as not reporting, then the fine and court costs kick right back. Or actually, I think the court costs are going to be there regardless, but the fine will kick back in if you don't stay on your P's and Q's.
I understand.
Okay. Is there anything further from probation at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cochran, this is Officer Jackson with Dallas Probation. Upon the conclusion of our Zoom conference, I will email you your conditions of probation. And although I will not go over all your conditions with you now, but I want to go on record to say that you cannot have any contact whatsoever with either Haley Helterbraun or Michelle Goheen. And when I mean no contact, that means social media. If you know places that they frequent, you can't go to those places, any places of those nature. I just want to be
with me, sir.
Okay, I just want to be lucid and clear about that. That's all, Your Honor.
Yeah, because if Sasha gets in contact with me and tells me that you're not following that order, that's going to be a problem.
I have followed the order for the last several years. I intend to continue.
Great. Is that all you have to say, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Haley, you mentioned something earlier. Do you have anything you want to say at this time?
I with the probation, I just had a question. Is the like restraining order still like he can't come in with my like city that I live in?
I'm not aware of a restraining order. Is that something you all have pursued in the civil arena, counsel,
It's been there for a while.
or is she referring to like a stay away order from my court?
No, I believe that there was also a restraining order that they had in place, but that is different than this probation that he will be on.
Okay.
During the probation, it's another no contact order, so he won't be around. He won't be able to be around you, but that doesn't say that he can't be in your city per se. He just can't have contact with you.
Okay, what about my sister?
It's away from you and your mother.
Okay, I understand. Can we add my sister or is that not allowed?
Judge, would it be possible to add her sister to the plea paperwork?
I mean, I don't have any knowledge of the facts of this case because this is an agreed plea, folks. You guys come to the court and you tell the court, hey, this is what we agreed on. So if you want to add another individual, which is my understanding, the defense has agreed with a stay away order. Does the defense have any objection to that?
I don't imagine we do. Can just confer with my client briefly.
Okay, so do you guys want to go into the waiting room and then talk to each other privately? Maybe call each other?
If we can. I
Okay.
don't anticipate a problem. I just want to make sure I talk with him first.
That's fine. I'm going to move Rainey and pardon
Randy,
me calling you by your first names. That's what your
that's fine.
box says, Rainey. I'm gonna move Rainey and Mr.
Randy.
Cochran is under Tara to the waiting room, and then you guys can call each other and talk. I don't think you can talk inside the waiting room. So let me do that now.
How do we signal back that we're ready to come back?
That's a really good question. Do you want me to just give you like 5 minutes and then click in there and move you back and see if you're ready?
1 minute.
Or you can,
Rainey, if you want to text me, I can let Judge know.
yeah, I was gonna say you can text somebody. Text
Okay.
Sasha, okay?
Okay. All right, Judge.
All right, I'm putting you in the waiting room. And then
Judge, is there a way you can put me in the waiting room too?
yep.
Thank you.
Judge, I would like to make a statement once everyone's back in the room, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Judge Rainey just texted and said that he's all good.
Okay. Okay, you guys are all back with us, I believe.
It looks like we're missing Heather, Your Honor.
I see Heather.
Oh, okay. I don't see her on my screen. Thank you.
Sometimes you gotta like swipe and play around to see if you can get to a screen where you can see everybody who's on the call.
Okay.
I know I have to do that, especially if you're on a phone.
Okay.
I'm on the
Everybody see me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There was no issues, Judge. We're good. They can add the
Hannah.
Hannah.
Okay, so Sean, you have the lady's name that they're referring to, her full name, so that you know to put that on the conditions along with the other two.
Yes, Your Honor, I will need her full name.
I believe
Is this-
it'll be the same last name as Haley. Is that correct, Haley? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the correct spelling of Hannah?
Now, let me ask you this. Are these ladies minors
Yes, Judge.
right now?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So we're not going to discuss that until in a few minutes when I stop the live stream.
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
And Haley, are you currently under 18?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When we guys were moving around in the waiting room and whatnot, Haley stated that she wanted to say something. So is this going to be in the form of a victim impact statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we probably won't have much examination, right, counsels?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, go ahead, Haley. How do you say your last name?
Helterbrand.
Miss Helterbrand, go ahead and state your name, please.
I'm Haley Helterbrand, the victim, and I just wanted to say that I appreciate everyone like doing all of this, and this case has obviously dragged and like it's been such a long time because it's been almost 5 years since the occurrence. I have undergone a lot of impact and like trauma ever since the event. I recently just discharged from an inpatient facility for an eating disorder that was lasted up until the defendant moved out of my house. I have been withdrawn from school, put back in. I've transferred a lot, and this case finally like coming to be what it is, even if it is via Zoom, is really like reassuring for me. The defendant has definitely like impacted my life in like many ways. I am only 15, so it has been like a majority of my childhood, but I am really appreciative for everyone and everything that's been going on. This just isn't anything I take lightly, and I appreciate everything and everyone coming together for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your courage
Thank you, Your Honor.
to stand up and make a statement today. Most people, feel a little uncomfortable in these situations. So I think you're courageous, and the work you're doing with yourself, with, in regards to dealing with the trauma is obviously working and paying off for you to be so courageous. And I commend you for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Is there anything further?
Nothing from
the state.
the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going